So in the previous classes, I had told you about the properties of acid and bases, few physical properties of acid and bases, and the indicators which are used to indicate a substance as an acid or a base, or olfactory indicators. So now we will study about the reactions of acid and base with metals. With metals, how acid and bases are reacting. So when an acid react with metal, for example, I am taking first acid. So when a acid reacts with metal, it gives salt with hydrogen gas. I can write in a short form, or in general form I can write it. I can write acid plus metal, it gives salt and hydrogen gas. So here what happens in this reaction, the metal displaces hydrogen from the acid. We know that in all the acids hydrogen is there, like HCl, H2SO4, HNO3. So the metal that reacts with the acid, that displaces the hydrogen from the acid, and whatever remaining part is present, with that it reacts to give a compound that is called salt. Once again I am telling, the metal in the reaction displaces hydrogen from the acid and reacts with the remaining part of the acid to form a compound that is called salt. So metal displaces hydrogen from the acid and reacts with the remaining part of the acid to form a compound. That compound is called salt. For example, you can take zinc and dilute H2SO4. It will give zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. Calcium and nitric acid, it will give calcium nitrate and hydrogen. Example I can give. For example, I can give zinc plus dilute sulfuric acid. It will give zinc sulfate with the hydrogen gas. For bases, we will take later the examples. First, we will take the acid. So, calcium with dilute nitric acid, it will give calcium nitrate with hydrogen gas. So, here also we are seeing that in the reactions, we are seeing that here hydrogen gas is coming out. Here also hydrogen gas is released. So, how we will come to know that in these reactions, or when metal reacts with the acid, we are getting hydrogen gas? How we will come to know? So, for this, I will explain you with a setup. So you can see here in a test tube we will take a little zinc granules. First of all, we will take in a test tube, we will take some zinc granules in a test tube. Then we will give, and with zinc granules we will take dilute H2SO4, that is dilute sulfuric acid. We will take dilute H2SO4. Then we will see that after adding zinc and dilute H2SO4, gas is released. So that gas we will transfer to another container or another beaker with that contains soap solution. We will take another container that contains soap solution, and we will connect the test tube and the container through tube, so that the gas released from the test tube will go to the soap solution. That gas will come here in the soap solution. So when the gas will come in the soap solution, that time why we used here a soap solution, why not other solution? When we used, why we used soap solution? Because we know that we are we are proofing, or we are trying to know whether hydrogen gas is evolved or not, hydrogen gas is released or not. So to know that, we are using soap solution, because we know that when we pass hydrogen gas, the gas tries to escape out of it. When in a soap solution we will pass hydrogen gas, that gas is trying to escape out of it, because it doesn't get dissolved in the hydrogen in the soap solution. So why we are using soap solution? Because when we pass hydrogen gas in this solution, then the gas tries to escape out of it. Why? No, because it doesn't get dissolved in the soap solution. So when the gas reaches on the surface of the solution, the bubbles are formed. So when the gas is coming to the surface of the solution, bubbles are formed. So now you are clear about it. We are using soap solution because we want to know whether hydrogen gas is released or not. That is why we are using soap solution, because we know that soap solution doesn't dissolve. Hydrogen gas doesn't dissolve in the soap solution, and when the gas is passed to the soap solution, the gas tries to escape out of it, so that when the gas is reaching on the surface of the solution, the bubbles are formed. And when we are taking the burning candle near the bubbles, we can hear a popping sound. So from here we can hear a popping sound. So that confirms that this gas is hydrogen gas. So once again I am telling you that we are saying that when a metal reacts with acid or dilute sulfuric acid, then the metal displaces hydrogen from the acid and reacts with the other part of the acid to give a salt. For example, zinc plus H2SO4, ZnSO4 plus S2, or calcium plus nitric acid, or any other you can take. Mostly all the metals don't take part, but few metals take part in the reaction. So how we will come to know that the reaction which is formed here and the gas which is released here, that is hydrogen gas. To know it, we will do a setup where we will take in a test tube, we will take few zinc granules and dilute H2SO4. When these two come in contact, zinc granules and dilute H2SO4 come in contact, the gas is released. That gas through a tube we will pass to soap solution, because if it is a hydrogen gas, then we will come to know with the help of soap solution, because the hydrogen gas doesn't get dissolved in the soap solution and tries to escape out of it. Because of this reason, when the gas is reaches on the surface of the solution, it forms bubble, and when the bubbles are formed, we will bring a burning candle near the bubbles and we can hear a popping sound. This confirms that this is a hydrogen gas. So from this experiment setup, we can confirm that the gas which is released in the reaction, that is hydrogen gas. Similarly, for base also you can write zinc plus sodium hydroxide, which is a base. It will give a salt, sodium zincate, with the evolution or with the release of the hydrogen gas. So all the metals doesn't react, the few metals react, but when acids react with the metals, it gives hydrogen gas or it produces hydrogen gas. So you can say that reaction of acids and bases with metals, it produces hydrogen gas. And metals like aluminium and zinc, they react with strong alkalis to liberate hydrogen gas, to produce hydrogen gas. So this is how reactions takes place between the metals and acid and bases. So reaction of metals and metal hydrogen carbonate with acid, or metal hydrogen carbonate also known as bicarbonates, that is with acids. So when acid react with metal carbonates or metal hydrogen carbonate, it gives corresponding salt, water and carbon dioxide gas. That means carbon dioxide gas is liberated here. So when acid reacts with metal carbonates or metal hydrogen carbonates, it gives corresponding salt, water and carbon dioxide gas. In a general way we can write, so metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate, when they react with acid, they gives corresponding salt, water and carbon dioxide. First of all, let us take metal carbonate. We will take an acid and metal carbonate and we will see how the reaction is taking place. For example, so this is sodium carbonate plus hydrochloric acid. We are getting sodium chloride plus water plus carbon dioxide. So here carbon dioxide gas is liberated. This is we are getting in aqueous form. This also we are getting in aqueous form. This is also in aqueous and this is in solid. To balance it, I can write here 2, here also 2. This is the reaction, that is sodium carbonate or HCl. When reacts with HCl, hydrochloric acid, we are getting salt, water and carbon dioxide gas is produced. Similarly, we can write another example. I can write with calcium carbonate. So calcium carbonate plus hydrochloric acid, we can get calcium chloride plus water plus CO2. Here also it is gas. So here also the same way we can say that how we will come to know whether the carbon dioxide gas is liberated here, or how you will show the presence of carbon dioxide gas in the reaction, how you will show that carbon dioxide gas is produced in this reaction. So for this also we will take setup. So we will see a test tube. We will take a test tube. We will take in that test tube a few amount of sodium carbonate. We will take, along with it we will take HCl, that is hydrochloric acid. When we are taking sodium carbonate and hydrochloric acid, when they are coming in contact, a gas is produced, and that gas we are allowing to pass to another test tube which contains CaOH2, that means calcium hydroxide. This is our calcium hydroxide. So we are taking a test tube in which sodium carbonate and hydrochloric acid is mixed, and when they are coming in contact with each other, a gas is produced which is passed to another test tube that contains calcium hydroxide, that is CaOH whole 2. And we know that on passing carbon dioxide gas evolved through lime water. This is also called lime water. When it passes, its color changes. The water produced to milkiness. Now it is very clear, colorless. It doesn't. It is very clear solution. It is a colorless. But when the gas, when carbon dioxide gas is passed through lime water or calcium hydroxide, it turns milky. It turns milky. We can get a white precipitate. That is, it turns milky. So this carbon dioxide gas, when passed through calcium hydroxide or lime water, which is a colorless solution, after passing the carbon dioxide gas, it turns milky. It turns milky, or it gives a white precipitate and it turns milky. So CO2 or carbon dioxide gas reacts with lime water to produce milkiness. If we will give excess of carbon dioxide, then this milkiness disappears. If you will give excess carbon dioxide, if you will pass excess carbon dioxide, then the milkiness disappear, because soluble calcium hydrogen carbonate is formed. If you will apply or if you will pass excess carbon dioxide, then the milkiness disappears due to the formation of soluble calcium hydrogen carbonate. So when lime water, when carbon dioxide is passed through lime water or calcium hydroxide, we get calcium carbonate, which gives white precipitate or turns milky. If excess of carbon dioxide gas is passed through it, then it gives calcium hydrogen carbonate, and here milkiness disappears. Here milkiness disappears, like our limestone, chalk, marble, all these are the forms of calcium carbonate. So when metal carbonate react with acid, it gives salt, water and carbon dioxide gas. With this we can confirm that the gas which is released here, that is carbon dioxide gas. So metal carbonate when reacts with acid produces carbon dioxide gas. Similarly for metal hydrogen carbonate, or which is known as metal bicarbonate, that is, I can write NaHCO3, that is sodium hydrogen carbonate, or you can say metal sodium bicarbonate when reacts with HCl. This is known as sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate. When reacts with HCl, it gives NaCl plus H2O plus CO2. So here also the same way the reactions takes place. When sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate reacts with acid, it gives corresponding salt, water and carbon dioxide gas. So you can say that the metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate, when reacts with acids, they give corresponding salt, water with the liberation of carbon dioxide gas, or carbon dioxide gas is produces in this reaction. So here we studied about the production, means how hydrogen gas is produced by the reactions of metal with acid and base, and how carbon dioxide is produced with the reactions of metal carbonates and hydrogen carbonates with the reaction of acids. Please refer to book also so that you will be more clear.